You can type in the chat if I'm giving you something of note. Josh Brown will put it in the chat. And if there's something I need to see in the chat, he'll let me know so I can read it. This is the Big Joel community call. One thing of note, we do have a new crush group starting on May 20th. That's May 20th. That is the 1 p.m. Eastern slot for anyone that's interested. I do think we have a couple of slots left in that. Josh just put that in the chat if you want more information on that, or you can reach out and contact us as well. That's May 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I don't think we're going to have any other crush groups starting for a little bit because all the slots are filled right now until we end one of the other ones, which I think we're a couple months out for. So welcome, everybody. No guests today. You all just get me. Aren't you lucky? And I don't want to go too long today because I know everyone's busy writing 17 pre-quals for the same borrower on 15 different properties. And I just want to talk a little bit about the market, talk a little bit about interest rates, and talk a little bit about the psychology of what's going on. So number one, as far as the market goes, every single loan officer that I have spoken to in the past week is all proving me correct in that this will slowly start to turn around. Even if you're in one of those crazy, crazy markets like Tampa, Florida. I don't know who's on here from Tampa, but those nutty, crazy markets where the inventory cannot, even as inventory is released, it cannot keep up with the amount of people moving there. So it's artificially slowing the market down, even though the rest of the markets are starting to creep forward. Those of you that are working a full Joel plan and have a drawer full of BICs or butts and cars, you know what's happening right now. You are starting to flip them. The whole game is contract to close. If you're slow, you lose. So I certainly hope everyone is really practicing taking complete apps up front and really, really docking the files. As I'm sure a lot of you all know, if you're not talking to the listing agent, your contract probably isn't going through, with the exception of certain markets. But in multiple offer scenarios, I'm sure you are speaking to the listing agent on behalf of your borrower on every contract. By the way, if you're not, you need to be doing that. You've heard every single guest I've had on here in the past 6 months talking about that. Okay, so I'm seeing trending. Inventory is starting to be released slowly. Now, we had an artificial pullback with Easter and Passover and all that stuff, and a combination of the rates going up. The reality of it is the rates going up a little bit doesn't really hurt everyone or anyone. In fact, I personally would like to see the rates go up a tiny bit more so the lenders can start to release what I call competitive ARM programs. Those of you all that have listened to me over the past couple of weeks or a couple of months have heard me talking about find a mentor so you understand how to sell programs other than a 30-year fixed. I love when I hear loan officers talking smack. They're like, C30, yeah, I'll put them in a C30, C30. First of all, it's hilarious. No one knows what a C30 year is. That's a 30-year fixed rate product for a consumer. And the reality of it is you're going to have to real soon know how to sell other products, because if you get on the phone with a client and your client talks to another loan officer who's extremely experienced, who knows how to sell products other than a 30-year fixed, you're going to be smoked and you're probably going to lose the client. So learning how ARMs work is going to be very, very, very important. If the rates stay in the range they're in right now, I can't see those products coming out as fast as we need them and then being competitive. What I mean by that is there being enough spread in rate between that product and a 30-year fixed to really, really move the market. With that said, regarding rates, those of you that have been on these calls for a long time, those of you that have known me for a long time, I've always said to qualify minimum of a half in rate over. And over the past, 6 months, I've been saying 1% over. A lot of you all that are newer, or some of you all that really think you know what you're doing, have been rolling your eyes at me thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sure you now know that is correct. You better be qualifying well over, because the most painful phone call you can ever make is to an agent partner, letting them know that the borrower they've had out, the client they've had out and written 19,000 contracts on, is now no longer qualified because you qualified them at some artificially low note rate. You didn't even talk to the client about what their payment could be or what it could look like, and now the client has payment shock Not to mention they are no longer qualified for the house that the agent just worked 1,900 hours to get them into. Any of you all that have ever had that experience will know that is not a fun experience and not one you ever want to have again. So if you don't know how to look a client in the eye or talk to them and let them know that you're running their numbers higher than where the market is, you should really think twice about that or find a mentor to teach you how to do it. Your agent partners should be fully briefed with that. They should know what you're doing, and they should support and protect. Meaning, if a client calls them back and says, "Oh my God, why'd you send me to this Michael Most guy? Everyone's getting 5%. He ran my numbers at 6%. Why'd you send me to a crappy lender?" Your agent partner should say, "Nope. It's the exact opposite. I sent you to the best lender because they're preparing you for the market moving, and we have no idea what the market's going to do every day." Anyone that tells you they know what the interest rate market is going to do is lying, because if they really knew, they would be a bond trader and they would be in the south of France right now on their 400-foot yacht counting their cash in crypto and regular cash just for the heck of it. That would be their job all day, counting their cash, because they would be a bond trader. Okay. You should not be purporting to anyone that you know what the rates are going to do. You also shouldn't be purporting, "Don't worry, we'll put you in now and refi you later." You should be explaining how markets work if you want to. If not, you should be sending them to other places to learn how markets work. Your job is to get the loan approved and closed on time. Your job is not to create an interest rate and tell them what rates are going to do. Those of you that have been doing that and have gotten caught with that, I'm sure you've learned your lesson at this point. It's really not a good practice to pretend that you know what the rates are going to do or when the rates are going to go up or down or anything like that. Okay, so everyone, regarding rates, please make sure you're at least one over when you're qualifying. I mean, I hope the rates drop 3% tomorrow, but no one knows what they're going to do. So you need to be prepared for it. As my old dogs on this call know, people buy and sell houses no matter what the rates are. They have kids, they have divorces, they have unfortunate deaths of a family member. They need, maybe they need cash out. They're doing cash out refinance, send a kid to school. People transact business using mortgages no matter what the rates are. That is factual. Okay. Now, regarding the market and where it is, those of you that are sitting around having a pity party for yourself, hoping that you can keep renting your VRBO on the second home that you bought barely on cash that you were making by doing refis, if you're busy freaking out about that right now, stop freaking out and actually work. WORK. Use the word grit. Run through the wall. Don't sit and have a pity party for yourself, because if you do, you will be the next person selling cars. Okay. There's no reason that you all cannot do this other than yourself. It's not your company. It's not your rates. It's not this. It's not that. It's you. Get off your butt and work. Okay. Your job is to create relationships with people that can refer you loans. Loans are out there. There are people on this call right now who I'm not going to name out who are closing over 15 purchase loans this month and next month already. Okay. There's people that are over 20 and people over 25 on this call. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just telling you they're on this call right now. Okay. It is completely doable. Do not have a pity party. These are not brokers giving away crazy low rates. These are people that have the same rates you do. They just have one thing you don't have. They have deep relationships with referral partners. Deep that they've worked very, very hard at. I can't tell you how many times in the past about 6 months or even a year, I'll just call out Rick Sedbury because he's here and he has the boss behind him. But Rick has said to me, among other people, "Man, am I glad, Joel, you made me do, or you had me do what I'm doing, 18 months ago or 2 years ago, because now I'm solid," meaning building real meaningful relationships with referral partners. I'm not saying it's too late, but your job every day is to deepen an existing relationship or develop a new one. There's no one who took the time to get on this call right now that cannot be standing when the dust settles, and the dust is going to settle and a bunch of people are not going to be standing. Okay. Don't think just because you close one loan a month, your company is going to let you sit there and use their benefits and use their laptop and use their IT and make phone calls and have them carry you and have them maybe pay you minimum wage or whatever it is for one loan a month. As you see operational layoffs, which should be happening right now. By the way, that's a sign of a healthy company when those things are happening. The companies will not be scared during this run to also lay off extremely low producing loan officers. It is a losing battle to carry low producers, especially if they're a problem and they hand in trash loans and blow the joint up. Okay. So with the volume the way it is right now, if you have any conditions on your loans, you are doing something extremely wrong, because you have all the time in the world to make sure you have no conditions. Many of you, I'm sure, are experiencing layoffs in the back of the house where you don't have as many bodies to help you as before. That's okay. Just do your job and do your job right. You hand in a perfect loan, all the companies represented on this call will get it closed. Okay? You don't, it's going to be bad. All right? You're going to have to sit and chase conditions and deal with all kinds of disgruntled bodies that are doing a lot more work than they were doing before, because people have been relieved of duty at the back of the house. Again, if you're complaining or you're starting to post on those crazy loan officer boards with the craziest questions I've ever seen about who knows what, implodometer or whatever these people are, it is a good sign. It is a healthy sign if your company was heavy on refis and they're doing layoffs. Okay, they should be. You should not be carrying all those bodies if someone closing 10 loans is now closing 2 loans. With that said, I want you all to know and hear me loud and clear. There are plenty of loan officers having epic Mays and Junes right now with purchase units. Lots of them. Are they having to work hard? Yes, they are. Are they having to do more pre-quals than they've ever done? Yes. Are their agent partners working triple time and quadruple time? Yes, they are. Okay. That brings me to our agent partners. You need to be a beacon of positivity in the market right now. No, woe is me. Half of your job is to be, obviously your whole job is to partner with your agent partners, but right now it's important that you are really partnering at a high level and that you're talking all the time. The agents are very burnt out right now. You all think you're busy. They are just as busy writing umpteen million contracts on houses that are not getting accepted. So as busy as we are writing all those pre-approvals, they're just as busy submitting all those contracts. Okay. Now, a great agent and a great lender together in this market equals lots of loans closed. Okay. Some of the newer agents that are having a hard time right now, they need you, if you're experienced, to help them get through this. You should be talking to every listing agent immediately. I was at last week, I was in Hartford, Connecticut. I don't see him on here right now, with a top producing loan officer. And we had a VIP lunch with 8 of his partners. And he was telling his partners that one of his big partners that he closes 4 or 5 loans a month with, they have a system where the contract is submitted. He's copied and alerted and is on the phone with the listing agent as the contract is showing up. He's literally the first call in there. That's how they do it. He's the first call in. Hey, just want to talk to you about the so-and-sos. Okay. If you're not doing that, you need to talk to your partners about that. That should really be going on right now. All right. That is, I don't want to say the secret sauce, but that's the sauce for a lot of people. I see Rick nodding his head, so I know he's doing that. That is the sauce for a lot of people. If you're a loan officer that thinks you're too busy to do that, hand your license in and get in line to sell Hondas. That's usually a good gig. Those go fast. Okay. That is part of our job right now. You think you're too busy to call listing agents? I'd get over it, because if you want to close 15 purchase loans in a month, get off your butt and make calls. Okay. You should definitely be making those calls. You should be very busy right now. Okay. You should not be thinking, oh, I have nothing to do. You should be as busy as you ever were or are. If you're doing your job correctly, your phone is ringing. You have a ton. I saw Pete put in the chat 80 or 100 BICs, which just means a BIC is a completely done file, for those of you that don't know my terminology. And when I say completely done, no LOXs, no large deposits, no kids' ages. I mean, literally everything done. Pete is sitting on a stockpile of what I'm just going to call ammo. And as soon as he gets contracts, he's closing loans probably in 14 days at 100 miles an hour. And he's going to beat you down if you're in his market. When he gets on that phone with that listing agent, you're going to take a beating. And as his listing agents, as his partners begin to actually affect the transaction, he's going to beat you down even harder because he's going to end up with the borrower with the loan that you had referred by your agent because his agent's stronger. Okay. Now there's lots of people on the phone. The only reason I called out Pete is because he put it in the chat. But there's lots of people on this phone right now that I know have piles of completely approved loans. Okay. And I don't mean even an underwriter looked at it. I don't care if an underwriter looked at it. You know it's done and it's completely docked. An underwriter does not have to look at it for you to not know it's done. Okay. So in this type of market, everyone, the big dogs get fatter and the little dogs get stepped on. This is not a market where the little dogs can yap around and get scraps. There's no scraps. Every scrap is important to these big dogs, and you do not want to be stepped on. This is when they take market share and the rest of the loan officers get out of the business. I've seen this before, and I'm already seeing it happen right now with loan officers complaining, woe is me. What do I do? Wah, my company sucks. Wah, my rates are high. Wah. It's every excuse in the book except for I don't have any relationships because I've been sitting on my butt doing refis for 2 years instead of getting out and actually making things happen. So be positive. Everybody can do this. I'm having the harsh talk with you because you need to hear this. There should be no complaining. You're in one of the best businesses in the world. It's right up there with toilet paper. Yes, I know there's a lot of people paying cash, but let's face it, even if you pay cash, there's usually a cash out refi. I mean, are you talking to every client, even if they're paying cash? So maybe you can do a cash out refi after. If you're not, you should be. If your agent partners don't have you doing that, shame on you. You should be. Okay, even if they're paying cash to get the property, they can always get their money back out. Obviously, not all of it, but they can get some of it depending on what kind of program you can use. Okay, you should not give up. You've chosen an incredible career, and fortunately for you, a lot of the people in your career don't want to work hard. They're not on this call. They're lazy, and they're just going to wait for something to come to them. If you wait for something to come to you in this market, you're going to be waiting for a while one of these other people on this call literally is stepping on you. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So the theme today is get off your butt and work. Okay? Build relationships, be empathetic. If you're not sitting with your agent partners talking about what's going on right now, you're doing it wrong. If your agent partners are having a bad day, go have a drink with them because I can tell you they are working really hard. I work with some of the best agents in the country. I'm a very blessed guy. I work one-on-one with them, and I got to tell you, they are working as hard as they have ever worked before. Really, really hard with the amount of contracts they're writing, the finagling, and all the different stuff they're having to do. They need a great lender partner. It should be you. It should be you. Okay, Josh, is there anything in the chat? I don't think there is, except for Pete. Let me see. Pete, Navy SEAL snipers over 80. Okay, everyone, the Mortgage Crush is in there for the 20th. That's a 1 p.m. Anyone that's interested in anything you're hearing right now, there's more information on the website about it. I strongly recommend it, but it's not for everyone. We do vet everyone in those groups. It's not for brand new loan officers. You need to have a certain amount of clay so I can show you how to make a pot. I see Marietta is a veteran of that. Ed Brem, David Gaffin, Rick Sidbury, Michael Most, Matt Keller. Lots of people on here. Pete Griffin, Teresa, Tony. Lots of people on here right now that have been through crush groups. They're 24 weeks long, every Friday with me for 24 times. Usually you will double your business. Perfect market to hop in one of those if you are qualified. And that's all I have for you today. Hang up the phone and do something productive. Deepen an existing relationship or develop a new one. See everybody in 2 weeks.